Hello, this is Andrea from Cardinal Cat, Nash Cat, along with SpecTech Web Solutions. Today coming to you again with some Google Drive tips. So this video screen capture is going to demonstrate a little bit about just the contents of the folders. So first of all, if you're not seeing all the folders that are shared throughout the team, please look at my other video, which shows you how to differentiate between My Drive and Shared with Me and how to get that all straight so you can see everything better. But this video is just going to focus on contents. So right now, if you're watching this screen capture, there are some kind of differences between Cardinal Cat G Drive and Nash Cat G Drive. There may be a point in time where these come back together as one, but for now you do have two separate views, and I'm going to focus on the Cardinal Cat G Drive. However, you can still watch this and still understand what's going on with your Nash Cat G Drive. So as you log in, again, if you watch the other video to make sure everything is here for you to see, once you log in, you're always going to have the default view of My Drive. So with the My Drive, you should see any folders that either you have created for your own benefit or any folders that have been shared, as long as you did create the shortcuts or the paths to those folders. And I want to focus on these three folders. So I named these very purposely with numbers so that for the most part they pop up to the top. So before I talk about what's inside, let's look at that quickly. So you can see I have several folders here, but right now I have them in alphabetical order. So first of all, you can either put your folders, plus there's documents as well. You can put your folders either in alphabetical order. You can do a reverse alphabetical order. You can also do date order. So you can do it according to what's the most recent, or switch that up and you can do the oldest. So basically you have different ways you can list them. You also have two different main views. Personally, I like to see this type of list, and I like to see my folders especially in alphabetical order. You can always also switch your view up here. So there's a button up here that says Grid View. You can click on Grid View and then you see them more like pictures. So your folders, you can't tell as much, but when you get down to your files, you can then see your files as pictures instead of just the name. You know, personally, I really prefer the other view, which is called List View. So again, you have List View, you have Grid View. Grid View does give you some little thumbnails of files. I like to use List View, and I like to have my folders in alphabetical order. As soon as I do that, the main folders I work in on a daily basis pop right up here to the top, and that works great for me. Now sometimes when I go inside of a folder, I'll just pick one here just for the heck of it. If I go inside a folder, maybe I'll just pick these images, pictures. Once I see just a whole lot of files and not as many folders, like here we see all these different files. These are all pictures, some before and after pictures, or some pictures of the trucks and different things. Sometimes I like to see these in date order. Like I want to find, okay, I just added a bunch of folders yesterday or the day before, so I want to put these in date order so the newest ones come to the top. But again, otherwise, I prefer list view, I prefer alphabetical. If you do that, that's going to help you see the folders that we're sharing within the team. It allows you to see that more quickly. And on that note, so you really want to come to the drive, you want to look for the right folder, and you want to start going down into the folders. So for example, if I'm looking for a template, I know I go to the team docs, I go to forms and templates, and then I find the form that I'm looking for. Maybe I need an invoice. So by doing this, I'm able to quickly just glance at the different types of folders, which I'll explain in a minute, and then go straight to the document that I need. Okay, the alternative, which is kind of the habit of most people. So most people are used to using a search. You know, everything now is easy for us. We can search for anything. We're used to going to Google and doing all these web searches. But that's not the best thing to do when you're in Google Drive. In Google Drive, you want to think of the folder structure because we have so many files that we're using within our teams. We have so many files and they're very well organized within folders that once you train your brain to think about the folder structure and the contents of each folder, you should be able to get to things very quickly. On the flip side of that, if you're used to the search, just as an example, if you go to the search and type Smith because you're looking for some invoice for your client named Smith, if you go up there, hit Smith, you're going to find a million documents. You're going to find so much stuff. Now, this is, of course, a great example because Smith is a very popular name, and yes, we have a million documents with the name Smith. But this is the problem. You do a search and you find so much information. You don't know what's what. You don't know what's new or what's old. Again, the best thing to do is think about, okay, I need a generic template, or I need to find our logo, or I need to find some example reports. All of that is very easily navigated within the folders. So then let me just touch on that quickly, because again, these 3 folders are the ones you will use most often. So we have one of them that's really just a holding spot because we used to do a lot more with putting client files in the folders. We don't do that anymore because now we have Freud. Anything and everything you have for every single job should be uploaded to Freud. However, sometimes we have jobs that have large supplement requests, or now we're doing engineering reports. Sometimes you have a whole lot of pictures, for example. And that can be very tedious to get all that into Freud, and that's understandable. So instead we have this kind of holding folder, or maybe you're still just like pulling it off your phone, getting it into Google Drive, and then later you are going to put it in Freud. But this helps you with kind of a temporary holding spot. So you can come here, you can create a folder with a PO number, would be ideal, especially if one person is taking pictures for a different person. Go and kind of dump those all in this spot that's shared by everybody and easy to find. So that's the 00 folder. So just extra files or temporary files that there's several of them, there's lots of them, and it's just not easy to get those quickly into Freud. Maybe it'll happen later on. We also have the number 1 folder, which is training library. So lots of information here for training. Now you'll also notice as you go into each of these main folders, there's 0, 01, 02. As you go into those folders, there's a little document here that gives you more information. So we can look at 01 folder info, and that tells us a little bit of a description. Some of it's a little more detailed than others, but this gives you a little bit of a description of what you're going to find within that folder. So this folder is shared with the whole CardNash team, so it's shared across both right now. And this has training, educational and informative documents, any other things we want to share to help us learn, to help us train, to give us knowledge. So all of that is in our training folder. And you can see a description of each of the folders inside. The next folder is the number 2 folder, which this is our team docs. So this is where we have things we need to share, but like standard things that are standard to our company, standard forms, standard templates, images, so our logos, our marketing information, our marketing folder documents, our production folder documents, some emails that we can use to have standard emails going out to clients. So all of the things you see here are basically our company proprietary information and documents that everybody needs, but also that you want to keep standard, that you want to keep the same. You shouldn't go in and be making changes to any of these, unless you might have one slightly different version, but for the most part, these are all things that you need to pull out and use. So different documents, information, templates, forms, images, lots of different things that are standard, our proprietary information. So again, those 3 folders are shared with anybody and everybody who works within any of our teams, our Cardinal team, our Nashville team. Everybody has access to those folders. And that allows us to share things more easily, which I will be creating a separate video to talk more about creating or copying documents. This one is really just to give you a view of the folder contents, how you can look at your folders differently. So again, whether you use the grid view or the list view, whether you want them alphabetical or in date order, and then what's in these basic folders. Some other folders that are pretty common that you might want to look at are the scanner folders. So for the Cardinal office, if you use the downstairs scanner, that'll go automatically to this folder, or if you use the upstairs scanner, it goes automatically to this folder. And again, with these, you either want to move those into Freud if you're doing scanning for your jobs, or maybe you need to move them into some other areas. So these are, again, just temporary holding places, and these folders for sure will be cleaned out from time to time so that we don't have a lot of stuff just lingering in there. So those are your three main folders. Again, slightly different for Nashville, but you're going to get the idea. And then you also, for Nashville, you may have access to these as well, because right now there's more stuff here in the Cardinal folders than we have in the Nashville folders. So please let me know if you have questions. Again, review the other video to see how to make sure you see these folders in case they're still stuck over here and shared with me. So review a different video for that. And also you can review a different video for how to create documents, where to create documents, or how to copy any of these like templates and different things. So check all of these different videos out, and please at any time let me know if you have any questions at all about Google Drive.